These words aren't spoken lightly. They come from a place of absolute devastation and absolute determination. Ahmed's family, like so many, have been internally displaced again and again as front lines shift. Each time they moved, they lost more: a home left behind in Beit Lahia, then the relatives they stayed with in Shijaiya got killed, then the UN shelter in Jabalia became a target. Now, huddled in central Gaza City, they have nothing left to lose but their lives, and they cling to those lives with dignity. His sentiment is echoed all around Gaza. A young man named Rajab Kader put it bluntly: he refuses to go to the so-called safe areas in the south where Israel wants to corral people. He'd rather stay in the streets with the dogs in Gaza City than be penned into what he sees as open-air prisons in the desert. We must stay in Gaza City with our families and loved ones, Rajab insisted. The Israelis will find nothing except our bodies and our souls. It's a haunting statement envisioning their own deaths, yet it highlights a collective decision by many that if the choice is between forced expulsion and dying on their land, they choose to stand their ground. These are not militant fighters talking. These are ordinary civilians, mothers and fathers, who have been driven to an unimaginable edge. They're tired of running. They're too exhausted to pack one more time, too heartbroken to build life all over again in another camp that might be bombed tomorrow. And crucially, they simply do not trust that obeying Israeli orders to evacuate will spare them or their children. How could they? Time and again, people fled when told to, only to be bombed along the escape route or even inside designated evacuation zones. We recall, for instance, how Israel announced certain southern areas as safe zones, then shells landed there anyway, or how convoys of fleeing families were struck on the road. So now, many Gazans say better to die in my own home than to die on the roadside as a refugee. There's also a profound sense of indignity that comes with being told to leave. It strikes at people's pride and identity. Consider what displacement has meant. Families from northern Gaza moved south after intense bombings early in the war. They went to Khan Yunis or Rafah seeking refuge. Those places then also got bombed or overcrowded. Some then drifted back north or shuttled multiple times. Each move meant splitting extended families apart, losing track of neighbors, children getting sick, wealth, what little remained, draining away. After all this, the prospect of being herded into tents in the desert under permanent Israeli military control is beyond humiliating, it's terrifying. Older Gazans say it sounds like the scenarios their grandparents told them about 1948 or 1967, when Palestinians were cleared out of cities and never allowed to return. So when Israel now effectively says, "Get out of Gaza City, we're taking it over," people hear an existential threat: leave and you may never see your home again. Leave and become refugees forever. No wonder so many are refusing, even as bombs fall. The humanitarian situation behind these sleepless nights is beyond dire. Gaza City has been under siege for months. There is no running water, little electricity supplied only by a few remaining generators, and food supplies are nearly exhausted. The Israeli blockade tightened to an iron grip means almost nothing gets in. No fuel, scant medicine, few relief convoys. People are literally going hungry. Parents skip meals so their children might eat once a day. Humanitarian observers describe a slow-motion atrocity, the gradual starvation of a population. Hospitals lie in ruins or have become charnel houses. Al-Shifa Hospital, once Gaza's largest, was the scene of fierce fighting and now stands non-functional. Other clinics have no supplies.